What's up everyone, Erica here, and I'm back today with another video for you. Welcome back to my channel, friends. If this is by chance the first video you are clicking on, welcome. I'm happy to have you on today's video because we are celebrating Christmas in July. Woo! Christmas! 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 No, in all seriousness, you guys, if you are new here, something you need to know about me, I love me some Christmas. You know who else loves Christmas? The creator of this video concept overall, my beautiful friend Rita over at Enchanted Rita. Rita invited Saria and I to participate in a Christmas in July DIY collaboration, and Saria and I were like, yeah, we love us some Christmas, let's do it. If you are familiar with Saria's channel, you know that she is a DIY channel, but you guys might not know that Rita and I both partake in some DIYs every now and then as well. We both have really been getting into ear making. We've been really finding like joy in doing it. When Rita came up with this idea, I was very excited to participate. Give me all the Christmas as early as I can get it, right? So for today's video, I will not be showing you how to make these ears because I literally could never. They're like sewn on, never. These ears were made for me by my beautiful friend Kayla over at Hemfully Ever After. She does have a YouTube channel as well as an Etsy shop, so I will have both listed in the description box. I love these ears. Perfect, 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 perfect. I love them so much. But no, I will not be showing you how to make these. If you're interested in these, again, I will have all of her information listed in the description box. But no, today I'm going to be showing you how I made myself these beautiful pair of ears. I love going to Disneyland around the holidays. I don't know if we will be doing it again this year, but if we are, trust me, I am wearing these ears. Absolutely. So I am very excited to show you guys the process of how I made these. So without further ado, let's get on into it. All right, y'all, first thing we're doing is getting started with the materials you're going to need. You're going to need some cardboard. This is optional, but since we will be cutting fabric and using my Cricut, I need a rotary blade, a mat, my weeding tools, an X-Acto knife, a Sharpie. Here I'm showing you the 3-pack of headbands that I buy from Walmart. It comes in 3 colors, but I just went with black. I'm not going to be covering the headband today, so kind of takes that job out for me. The plaid fabric that you see here is going to be what we're using for the ears, but the rest of it, I kind of didn't know what I was going to do with the bow yet, so that's why there are multiple fabrics. As I mentioned, we will be using my Cricut for, you know, cutting out some heat transfer vinyl, and that's what I'm showing you here. So that's why there is an array of colors, but you will also need pink. So here I'm showing you the ear templates that I have cut out using some LaCroix boxes. As I've mentioned to you guys in the past, I do use my friend Saria's. I also use the templates from Auntie Tay, so I will leave. There's plenty of them out there, you guys, but if you want to use the ones I'm using, I will have them linked in the description box. So once I've cut out 4 cardboard pieces from the cardboard template, I'm going to be taking this metallic marker. And I don't know if I showed this to you in the beginning, but you will need one of these, or if you have a fabric pen, that would work too. I don't have one, so I just use this marker to outline the fabric template, and we're going to be cutting out 4 pieces from this fabric. I've been loving using the mat and the rotary blade, you guys. I'm telling you, every video you guys see, I'm just getting faster and faster at cutting the fabric. So once you have all the pieces together, I went into Cricut Design Space and designed the vinyl, or cut out the heat transfer vinyl. I don't include any of that just because I feel like it's boring if you guys already know how to do it, or if you don't even have, you know, anything to cut out vinyl, you're kind of like, don't really care about that process. So I'm just showing you the weeding process just because I personally like to watch it. It's satisfying to me. So for my design, I decided to go with Santa Claus Mickey. So I'm on one side of the ear, I'm doing Santa Claus Mickey, and then on the other side, I'm going with, oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mickey. That's kind of a play on Jolly Holiday with Mary from Mary Poppins, and, you know, holiday Mickey. I love the mashup there. So I'm going to be doing that on one side of the ears, and then these are dual-sided ears. So on the back, I decided to go with a separate quote, all in its own. And I went with Oh There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays, which you guys will see me weed out here shortly. For the back of the ears, I decided to put the word home and holidays in holographic vinyl. So here you see me using the red holographic, and then for holidays, I decided to go with green. So one red, one green, and that will be on the back side. So the next step is I am going to first lay down the outline of Mickey. I always like to do this when I'm doing heat transfer vinyl. I like to do one layer of black behind everything. I think it just makes the image pop, even when you're doing it on a darker fabric like this print. This step takes me quite a bit of time. I really just am very careful and picky with the placement of the words, just kind of through trial and error. I've been not so careful in the past, and some of the phrasing gets cut off or it gets wrapped around the ear and it's not very clear, which you'll actually kind of see because I didn't size it properly on the back side of one of the ears. So I'll show you what I'm talking about later on, but this, even with taking my time, I still messed up the back a little bit, but thank God I made these ears just for myself, because I would never be able to live with myself for gifting ears that weren't perfectly centered. I'm going to start speeding through this process a little bit more, but I did want to show you how meticulous I am when I'm layering vinyl. It takes a while, you guys, and when I tell you I take my time, I really slow down and make sure the lines are matched up, because this is such a long process. It really sucks to make it halfway and then it doesn't end up being the way that you like it or anything like that. So I always take my time. I feel like I've said it a billion times at this rate, but I need you guys to know. I'm leaving this part of the clip in normal time so you guys can see how long it takes me to line up the vinyl. Maybe if I wasn't such a perfectionist, I would be much quicker at this, but yeah, I'm just gonna start speeding it up here, but I wanted to show you guys this is what it takes. I do this step by step until we have all the pieces of Mr. Santa Mickey Mouse. If you guys are familiar with the Cricut heat press, there is usually like a temperature setting and a timer and all that. So for the mini, there isn't. There's just 3 levels of heat. So all I do is I place it to the highest temperature and I just lay the heat press over my image for about 15 seconds, give or take, just to tack the heat transfer vinyl onto the fabric, and then I'm moving on to the next layer. I will usually spend the majority of the time, like 30 seconds, once every layer of the heat transfer vinyl is finally on and attached and all that good stuff. If you guys have been with me since Vlogmas, you'll know that I did a similar design when Saria and I collaborated, over the course of Vlogmas, and I did a Mickey throw pillow. It's the same design and the same quote actually, and I do go more in depth with the tutorial of how I layered all of Mickey, like the Santa Mickey layers, so I will have that video linked. But in that tutorial, I also shared with you guys that the Santa Mickey, I actually bought the SVG file off of Etsy, so I will have the direct link to that listed in the description box as well. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, here is the holographic vinyl. So, There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays. I did home in red holographic or foiled heat transfer vinyl, and then holidays in green. I feel like all this tutorial is me telling you guys to take your time, but really take your time. I took my time and I still feel like I made small mistakes that could have been avoided. So I just want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So if you saw earlier, I did use sewing clips, and that is a trick that I learned just recently to hold the fabric over the cardboard. To me, I did this and it did help, but the fabric still managed to move when I did the green foiled portion of the ears, and it was super frustrating because, as I'm obviously telling you guys time and time again, just to take your time and be careful, I was as careful as I could be and it still moved a little bit. So it's okay. Again, like I said, these ears are for me, so they are far from perfect, but you live, you learn. So here I'm just going around and adding some glue and tacking the fabric down to the cardboard.
Since these ears are pretty busy on their own and I kind of wanted to do something a little different, I will not be stuffing the ears this time around. I wanted them to be flat, so if you guys can see there in that clip, I did cut a slit down the center of the remaining fabric, and here I'm showing you I put a little bit of hot glue on the cardboard, and because of cutting the remaining fabric in half, I guess, I'm able to stretch the fabric as far as I can on the cardboard to have the bottom of the ear lay completely flat on the headband. I want it to be nice and flush or like flat on the headband. I didn't want to create any sort of like bubble or anything like that. And I felt like cutting that little slit of fabric really helped me get that. The next step is to glue each piece together. Now this took some serious thinking, you guys, okay? Have to really pay attention to what the front is gonna look like and what the back is gonna look like, and, you know, align those ears together. Probably sounds really obvious or stupid to you at home, like no duh, Erica. But to me, it really helped to grab the headband and lay the corresponding pieces the way that they're supposed to lay, and then, you know, stick them together with their corresponding back. I'm going with the classic little Pom Pom trim. I was deciding between red and white, but for Christmas ears, I don't know, the white just gives me more of a Christmas feel, if you will, like it's just like snowballs or something. So there's one. I went ahead and did the other side, and from here we are moving on to the bow. I unfortunately did not film the process of me actually gluing that little teeny bow that you see there. It's just a piece of fabric that I sandwiched into a bow and I hot glued the center. This is another trick that I've been doing lately with my ears. I either do this or use a rubber band. So here I'm using a piece of dental floss and I'm securing the bow. The reason I like doing this is for felt. Felt doesn't hold hot glue very well. Like I do see that it comes apart pretty quickly. So I like using, again, either a rubber band or in this case some dental floss, and I will tie it really, really tight. It just holds the bow's shape very well, and then I just cut off the extra string. I decided for the little center of the bow, I wanted to go with the fabric from the ears. So here I just cut off a piece using the Rotary Blade and the mat again. It was fraying pretty bad, so all I decided to do was run a couple of lines of hot glue and just fold in the pieces. That way you don't see any of the little hairs coming off of the fabric. And it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just apply a little bit of hot glue to the bow, wrap it around, cut off the excess, and, you know, secure the other side. The next step was to see how the bow looked with the ears when I put them all together. So all I did was grab a pair of ears from the park and I just kind of lined them up. And from there, I saw that the bow was covering the little phrase of, "Oh, it's a jolly holiday" with Mickey. And again, this is when you guys need to learn from my mistakes. I just took the bow and tried to cut straight across with the Rotary Blade, but it made the sides of the bow look really jagged. So I spent a lot of time like cleaning it up with scissors and whatnot. So I think I should have just started with a smaller piece of fabric or just a smaller piece of felt. So the felt bow itself should have just been smaller from the beginning, but it did come out really, really cute. So going back to that white metallic marker, all I'm going to do is mark where the bottom of the ear should go. I'm just using one little dot to show where the bottom portion of the ear should be and the top as well. And that's when I will go in with my hot glue and secure each ear to the headband. As I mentioned, felt doesn't really take to hot glue very well, so I just added the hot glue to the little strip of fabric on the center and placed that right in the center of the headband. I also tried my best to tack down the felt bow onto each side of the ear just for some extra insurance, if you will. And that's it.
That is going to do it for my Christmas Mickey ears. I, of course, love the way that they turned out. It's Mickey, it's Christmas. You can't really go wrong there. I do love the quote that I selected and all of that good stuff. I think it's just perfect for you to wear during the holidays. You guys have to let me know down in the comments if these are a pair of ears that you guys would wear in the parks. I'm definitely bringing them if we hit the parks this December or, you know, during the holiday season, I'm definitely bringing these for sure. Thanks again to Rita for inviting me to be a part of this collaboration. I had so much fun participating in this with two of my best gal pals in the community. I love you girls both so much, and that's it. Happy early Christmas in July. As always, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope to see you back for the next one. Bye.